Hi, beautiful people. Welcome to another Senior Spotlight. I'm Rosemary. Have you ever been in a situation where you have to do a dessert quickly, or maybe you just want something fast and sweet for you to eat? Well, you definitely want to see this program. I'm going to show you how to do a quick and easy dessert demo without having to turn on the oven. So let's start.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun.
So today we're gonna make apple nachos. Ooh, that's right, you heard apple nachos. So the great thing about this recipe is you don't really need a recipe. Just like regular nachos, you can put whatever you want on them. I'm gonna show you how to prepare my version of them, but if you wanna switch it up with your version, go for it. So what I'm using today is a mixture of Granny Smith apples as well as some Pink Lady apples. Again, if you want to use all Granny Smith, that's fine. It's whatever you prefer. I like the color variation between the green and red, personally. And then I got some white chocolate chips. I had bought a 12-ounce bag of these, but honestly, I probably use just 6 ounces. Again, it really depends how much chocolate you want on there. These I will be melting later to kind of drizzle on the apple slices. I'll show you how to do that later. And then I got some dark chocolate chips. Again, I got a 12-ounce bag. I must admit, I'm probably going to use more, probably like 3/4 of the bag. Then I got some dry roasted peanuts. Again, probably 5 ounces. But you know, again, you don't have to be exact. It's however many peanuts you want to put on them. Or if you don't want peanuts, don't put peanuts. I got some coconut shredded flaked already to go. You can use sweetened or unsweetened, depending on what your sweet tooth level is. You can probably go with unsweetened since we have already the chocolate. And then to top it off, caramel sauce. Now, if you want to use the small little caramels that are in packets to melt those down and use those, go for it. I just find for ease of use, caramel syrup will work in a pinch. Then what we're going to do to get started is we're going to start slicing our apples. Okay, so I'm going to start with slicing my apple. And I have a Granny Smith here. I'm just going to cut it right where I think the core starts. There, on one side. And then of course I'm going to cut again on the other side on all 4 sides. And just so you know, I have washed my hands beforehand. Very important step whenever you're using food is to wash your hands. So I've also washed the apples, so they're good to go. So I cut out the core, and I'm just going to put that aside. And then I'm going to further slice these apples. Now, if you want to peel the skin, you can go ahead and do it. I like to leave a little skin on them, so I'm going to use them. You can also, if you don't feel like slicing the apples, you can buy the apples already sliced and use those. Slice them into wedges, basically. You can make them however thick or however thin. I just wouldn't make them too thin because then it's going to be hard to pick up the other ingredients we're going to put on top. So, some people will use also peanut butter. They'll melt a little bit of peanut butter to drizzle. Others use M&Ms, chopped up candy bars, just whatever your palate enjoys. Nutella. It's basically the sky's the limit in what you can put on it. And you know, or let's say just check what you have in your pantry to put on it. Now before I get started further on more apples, to prevent the browning of them, I have here a big bowl of water, which I've had about 12 cups of water in here. And so I've added 6 teaspoons of salt. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my apples in here to prevent the browning of them. Because as you know, very quickly, these are a fruit that will brown. And the salt water keeps them from browning for several hours actually. And if you want, you can actually do this ahead of time. Let's say you already know someone's going to be coming over and you want this prepared, this part. You can prepare this ahead by putting it in salt water the night before and covering it, putting it in the fridge. And then when you're ready, you're going to, of course, drain, but you can also rinse off the salt before you use them. So it's basically a ratio of half a teaspoon per cup of water. And since I have 12 cups, I went ahead and put 6 teaspoons of salt in there. So that's that. And I'm going to go to the next apple. And once I'm done, I'm going to put them in this bowl of salt water as well. Again, you don't have to use different colors of apples. You can just use the Granny Smith. And if you do use the Granny Smith, then I would get at least 4 of those. This is also an easy recipe that you can invite your grandkids to do with you. Of course, supervise them with the knife, but otherwise they can help you put on the ingredients after you slice the apples. Or like I said, you can actually get them already sliced. So our next step is, while the apples are in the salt water, you want to just leave them in there for about 10 minutes so they can soak up the salt, and that's going to prevent them from browning very easily. And in the meantime, you can start melting your white chocolate. Now, if you prefer, you know what, you want the chips, that's perfectly fine. What I'm going to do in this demo is I'm going to melt the white chocolate, but leave the dark chocolate chips whole. And I'm going to show you, you want to try to get a microwave plastic bowl. And the reason for that is you don't want the chocolate to seize up on you. Meaning, like, if you heat it too fast, what will happen is the chocolate will get all like dark, thick, like almost like a paste. You want it smooth and liquid-like to be able to drizzle over the nachos. So what we're going to do is we're going to slowly heat these up by doing 30 seconds on the microwave. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take it out, stir it, and keep doing it until it's completely melted. So by using a plastic bowl instead of the glass bowl, it won't retain the heat in the bowl, and therefore it won't keep heating up the chocolate. So we got 30 seconds coming right now. And take it out here. And it still has not started to. It looks like it's still. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. It's a little bit melted. So I'll just give it a little stir, nothing major. They're starting to clump together, which is what we want to see. Okay, and then we stick it back for 30 more seconds. And you want to keep doing that until it's completely smooth and easy to drizzle. So just after another 30-second interval, look at how it came out. Beautiful. That's what you want to see. Smooth, glistening. And I'm just stirring it because you could still see some of the other chips. But if you stir it, it should melt the other chips. And that's what you want to see. So I only did pretty much a minute. And they were all, it's all ready to drizzle on our apple nachos. Also, these peanuts are a little too big, I think. So I'm gonna rough chop some of these. Get them smaller in size. I'm just pouring them here and then getting a knife and just kind of be careful because these can go everywhere, right? So you just gotta rough chop them a little bit. Watch your fingers. Just press down and then just go up and down with your knife. Keeping your fingers out of the way. See how I'm chopping them fine. And of course you can buy them already prepared that way if you don't want to do this part. I just think that smaller chunks will go better with my nachos, my apple nachos. So, you know, have fun with this recipe. You can really add some real great stuff to it. If you want to make it healthier, you can add other fruit. You could add strawberries or whatever other type of fruit you want. You can add yogurt instead of, you know, chocolate or peanut butter. You can add, like, let's say a nut substitute. If you don't want to use peanut butter, you can use nut butter. Okay, so let's start assembling. Okay, so now we're ready to do our final fun part, which is to assemble the apple nachos. I've already drained my apple slices. They were in the salt water for 10 minutes, and so I drained them. You can, you know, I tasted them, and the salt is really not very noticeable. But if for whatever reason you want to rinse it off, you can. That's perfectly fine, and it will still keep it from going brown, okay? Okay, so now we're gonna have our white chocolate that we melted, and we're gonna drizzle them over our apple nachos. You can do whatever design you want. You can zigzag, you can just swirl it around. If it gets to be a little too thick, if it started hardening again, then you can reheat it. Remember, again, 30 seconds only though, at a time, because you don't want it to seize up on you and get thick and not able to use drizzle no more. I'm gonna do this. You can use it all, you don't have to use it all. I would try to get some on all the apples though. Don't want no one to feel cheated. Get some on all the apples. Just like so. And again, this is going to make it sweet. You have the tartness of the Granny Smith, and now you're going to have the sweetness of the white chocolate. That's why I was saying earlier, if you want to use unsweetened coconut, go for it, because you do have other sweet elements in this combination. And again, you don't have to use all the white chocolate. If you don't want to, you can save it. If someone wants to dip, if someone wants a whole lot of white chocolate, you can have it in a side bowl and they can dip away. Okay, and then I think that's good enough. So then I'm going to put some dark chocolate chips and just sprinkle. Again, these you could have actually melted as well and drizzled on it, but I like the look of it like this. Almost reminds me of, you know, little olives when you put them on the nachos, and the white chocolate reminds me of sour cream. So we're going to do that. As many as you want, or as less as you want. These are your nachos. And then, of course, we can't forget the nuts. Sprinkle it all over it. Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. And coconut. I think that's enough. So there you have it. Apple nachos. Why don't you try some today? Thank you for watching Senior Spotlight. I hope you enjoy making and eating your apple nachos. Until next time, take care.